I'm Lisa Williams. Thanks for joining us for our Christmas sign-off.
Nothing's ever what we expect, but they keep asking where we're going next.
My goodness, hasn't this season just flown by? I hope you're at home with family or friends, a glass of red wine in one hand, a cheeky leg of lamb in the other, and if you're flying solo, we are here to keep you company. Coming up in tonight's very special episode, we tour the Shrine of Remembrance, put our muscles to the test at Northside Boulders, and kick back at PAX Video Game Convention. But first, we're off to Melbourne Polytechnic's International Student Event Society. Check it out. Oh, really?
The lighting's
It's a beautiful day.
Oh my god, ISES is a global organisation for special event professionals who are dedicated and educated to deliver creative excellence and professionalism in special events.
After 3 years of going out Tuesday to Sunday, I tend to meet a lot of people. And that really set my career up. So I did my apprenticeship partying. You don't have to do that, but I encourage you that there can be other ways of doing it, like things like this. Did I say that wrong? Yes.
Our membership of 4,000 plus in over 35 countries is made up of dynamic individuals and companies who are leaders in the special events industry.
Your teachers are an incredible source of knowledge, and I still go back today. And I think those students that are from William Inglis, one of the things that you guys have to do is do a database of business cards. I still have that database today, and it still gets updated.
Never ever knock your competition, because it actually then says something about you. So, you know, it's like when you're talking to a friend or whatever and they knock other people, you think, okay, you know, are they actually saying the same thing about me? So don't knock your competition, because there's always something about you that is actually different and special.
I wanna trade it. Oh, yeah, it's a beautiful day.
As a creative events professional, you are looking to learn, to connect, to be inspired.
Awesome. Looks like fun. Some very talented students right there too. Now flex your fingers, do your stretches, because after the break, we're climbing at Northside Boulders. We also learn the significance of the Shrine of Remembrance. Welcome back to Melbourne 22. Now I know it's a lot to ask after a big Christmas dinner, but tighten your harness and chalk up your hands, because we're going rock climbing.
So this is Northside Boulders. We opened up about 2 months ago. We're strictly a bouldering gym, which is kind of like rock climbing, except there's no ropes. It's a bit more difficult because it is shorter, so yeah.
2014, Melbourne's first dedicated bouldering gym, the Lactic Factory, opened up in Abbotsford. And people seemed to like what was going on. The route setting, the tunes, the plants, It wasn't long before it became apparent that the lactic factory was going to need a bigger space to accommodate the masses of Melbourne's boulderers that would regularly descend onto our little gym to crimp, squeeze and squeal their way to the top of our walls. This new space is called Northside Boulders. Northside Boulders was created to allow everyone to develop their climbing, whether you've never pulled on a wall before or climbed every day of your life. The walls go up to 5 metres in height and are angled from lightly inclined slabs to horizontal roofs. There is also an ever-expanding range of training equipment and plenty of space for relaxing.
If you've never done any kind of rock climbing before, that's absolutely okay. There are no prerequisites to climb. There's no kind of required fitness level. Part of coming is to like improve yourself and get stronger, I guess. And also just enjoy yourself mainly. That's the main thing.
Oh, the strength and flexibility one needs to be a rock climber. That definitely looks like a workout and perhaps a good way to deal with that fourth serve of Christmas pudding. Up next, we're remembering an event that has a very different gravity about it. World War I was a global conflict in which 60,000 Australians died. The Shrine of Remembrance was built to commemorate those lost in the Great War.
My name is Dr. Adrian Threlfall. I'm a military historian and I work here as an education officer at the Shrine of Remembrance and as a military history lecturer at Victoria University.
It doesn't match your face. Gotta find my way away from this place.
When was the Shrine of Remembrance built? Construction started in 1927 and it took nearly 7 years. So it was opened, unveiled to the public on Remembrance Day, so the 11th of November 1934.
Are you afraid of me now? Do you feel it? Do you feel it? Do you feel that I can see your soul? Do you feel it? Do you feel it? Do you feel the beat in your heart?
After 1914 and 1918, the people of the state of Victoria wanted an appropriate memorial to remember the service, the sacrifice of their loved ones, of their families. More than 19,000 Victorians lost their lives during the Great War and tens of thousands more were wounded. And as all of those who were killed are buried overseas, there are no cemeteries, there are no grave sites in Australia. So it was a place for people to come to reflect and to remember their loss.
I love the way you are today. Run away with me now.
I think it is the focus of commemoration and remembrance for Victorians. It is Victoria's state memorial for all conflicts now, obviously initially for the Great War, the dead and the wounded and those who lost their lives during the Great War, but it's now the focus of all subsequent conflicts and commemoration.
Do you feel the beat in your heart? I wanna be yours. Run away with me now.
The two most important ones obviously are Anzac Day on the 25th of April and Remembrance Day on the 11th of November. But over the course of any given year, there's at least 160 services that are held for different battles, different military units, things like Bastille Day for the French. So yes, a great number of services are held here.
I'm good at running, I beat you in the race again. Are you afraid? But I look your way, it's easiest to stay at home.
How many people work here? About 30 full-time staff work here on any one day, and approximately 120 volunteers provide guided tours of the shrine to the general public and to school groups, of which we have hundreds over the year, and the Shrine Guard and PSOs provide protection for the shrine. I think it's still relevant even today, even though it's now 100 years after the events that saw the shrine being built. Australians have continued to serve in many operations, military and peacekeeping, since the First World War, since 1914, 1918. So I think it still is relevant today. If anybody was after looking for any more information, the Shrine of Remembrance obviously has its own website, which is very useful, and the Australian War Memorial would probably be the other place that you would find information about Australia's military history and peacekeeping operations over the last 115 years.
Welcome back. If you're a big fan of kicking off your shoes and mastering a controller, then you're in the right place. Here's some highlights from this year's PAX Convention. Oh, I know a few people who would have loved that convention, all the costumes and the cosplay dancing. Looks like fun. Well, that's it for an exciting year from us. Thanks for watching and for having me as your host. You can find more information about all the stories that have been featured in our episodes on our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram pages. #Melbourne22. To take us out tonight, we have the Saturday Night Live Choir. I'm Lisa Williams. Merry Christmas.
Nothing's ever what we expect, but they keep asking where we're going next. All we're chasing is the sunset. Got my mind on you. Doesn't matter where we are. Doesn't matter where we are. Doesn't matter, no. If there's a moment when it's perfect, we'll carve our names as the sun goes down. Hey, as the sun goes down. Hey, as the sun goes down. As the sun goes down. Doesn't matter where we are. Doesn't matter where we are. Doesn't matter, no. Nothing's ever what we expect, but they keep asking where we go next. All we're chasing is the sunset. Got my mind on you. Doesn't matter where we are. Doesn't matter where we are. Doesn't matter, no. If there's a moment when it's perfect, we'll carve our names as the sun goes.